Hello, hello, it's Tammy Silvers of Tamarini's. Thanks so much for joining me. So today, what I have on tap for you is to show you how to make some bonus half square triangles if you're making the Great Divide block. Now keep in mind, you've already got the instructions on how to make the Great Divide block, and it's super duper easy, right? And creates those awesome, delectable mountain blocks. But what's not in the instructions are making bonus half square triangles, and you can do this with so many techniques when you're making flying geese, when you're making your delectable mountain blocks. So I'm going to turn the camera around so it can focus on my cutting table because only two hands, and give me just a second, and then I'm going to walk through how you might create those bonus half square triangles as you're making your Great Divide block. All right, so let's get the camera in place, and I'm going to tighten it up so it doesn't drop on us. Okay, so we have our Great Divide components. Now keep in mind, these pieces are not specific to the individual block sizes from the quilt. I've made them actually a little bit larger just to make it easier for you to see what's going on. So we have our mountain piece, we have our background piece, and they're put at right angles to each other. Now, you know I'm a huge fan of the Quilter's Magic Wand. I mean, Deb Tucker, let's face it, she's just brilliant. Now, normally when you use the Magic Wand, you're putting that laser line that's in the middle from corner to corner. But if you're going to use the Magic Wand, let's face it, it just makes things a little bit easier. What you're going to do is you're going to draw your line corner to corner. And I'm using my Choco marker. I'm a huge fan. Whoops, I went a little bit off. This is why I'm a huge fan. If I don't get my line straight, I can fix it. All right, so this is per the pattern to put your pieces at right angles to each other. It depends on whether you need a left facing mountain piece or right facing mountain piece, but you're drawing a line on your background piece corner to corner, and you're going to sew on that line, and then you're going to be cutting away the waste. Well, that is a waste, right? To waste all of that extra fabric. So here's where the Magic Wand comes in. If I want to create some bonus half square triangles using this space over here, this leftover in the top corner that's going to be thrown away, I'm going to use my Magic Wand because coinky dink, it's a 1/2 inch wide. I'm going to place it on that line corner to corner, and I'm going to draw a second line. So this second line will be a 1/2 inch away from the first line. All right, so now you can see here's my first line, my sewing line, and here's my second line. And this second line is also going to be a sewing line because I'm going to sew on it, and what's left over is going to be the half square triangle. All right, so what does this look like? Well, I've already made these for you in advance. So if you look real carefully, you can see I've sewn with my neutral thread. I've sewn on my sewing line to create my delectable mountain component, but I've sewn on that second line as well, which is going to make my half square triangle block. All right, so I've sewn on my original line per the pattern, and again, keep in mind you can do this with any technique where you're sewing that diagonal line and you have a corner that you're going to be cutting away. So you're going to sew on your original line, and then you're going to create a second line a 1/2 inch away from the first line. You need that 1/2 inch because you need a 1/4 inch seam for this sewing line, and you need a 1/4 inch seam for this sewing line. All right, so what does that look like? Well, once you've sewn, you've got your two pieces. You're going to cut. You're going to take your ruler. You're going to lay it on your seam line, and you're going to rotary cut between the two. All right, so now we have two pieces. All right, easy, right? So what do we end up with? We end up with our delectable mountain unit, and we end up with a little half square triangle. Now, this is bonus, so whatever you want to do with it, you can. You can trim it down, put it into a new project, create some fun blocks, because we know half square triangles are the building block to a lot of awesome blocks. But this is something that you can do if you want to with those pieces in your Great Divide block. And I just wanted to share that with you to expand the usefulness and get the most that you can out of your fabric. So until next time, happy stitching!